Hey there everyone, Luke here. Now before I talk about the review, the chapters today, I just want to say two very quick things. First of all, the video that me and Ann Arbor did over on Control Chaos, that'll be up in a few days time, so look forward to that. But the second and most important thing is about certain incident that happened on Twitter the other day with me. Basically, Scarred Hero, who many of you have probably, anybody who's watched any Mission Yozakura video probably have heard of him, because he is like a massive Mission Yozakura fan over on Twitter and in the Mission Yozakura Discord. Yeah, let's just say that me and him had a bit of a run-in this week, and well, last week now, and yeah, he's blocked me on Twitter because I did not agree with him bashing JJK. Now, I'm not a fan of JJK. I've seen bits of it, but never really gotten into it. But don't go bashing other series just because they're more popular than the series you like. And yeah, he really shouldn't be doing that, and he is giving the Mission Yozakura fan base a bad name, and he insulted me in the Discord, which got me very depressed last week, to the point that I made the conscious decision of not to post anything in the Mission Yozakura Discord. Thankfully, Red Dragon Emperor Ash, you know who you are, and you've said to me before that you've watched my videos, so this is your shout. Thank you for chatting to me privately and just helping me relax more. But yeah, I will. But yeah, for the time being, I will not be posting in the Mission Yozakura Discord. So yeah, anybody from that Discord who wants to know why I've stopped posting anything in there, that's your answer. Scarred Hero was the one that ruined it for me for what he said, and they know that he's toxic as well at times, but he needs to stop. He needs to grow up and realize, like, hey, Mission Yozakura, it's a great series, but there are series out there that people are going to like more, and pushing an agenda, it's not helpful for the fan base. Okay, with all that seriousness out of the way, let's talk about the chapter. Alright, so it's been chapter 177, titled Yozakura Family Stamp Card. Now, when I first heard that title chapter, I was like, wait, so does the Yozakura family have a business where, oh, you get a stamp card, do you get a free burger, do you get a free blooming? Given that it's this family, do you get a free blooming once you get all the stamps? But in all seriousness, what happens in the chapter in relation to the stamp card was something I did not expect, but I'm happy that we actually got it. But yeah, we start off with a colour page which basically features Hifumi and Alpha finally getting their colour images, so like we actually know what their colours are. So like we have Alpha who has Mutsumi's eyes, so he has the blue eyes, and then we have Hifumi who has Taiya's eyes, so has the red eyes. And put red and blue together, what do you get? Purple. And lo and behold, their hair is purple. So nice mixture of both their parents, and also as well their faces are very much designed, like I've not really talked about, but their faces are clearly designed to like be a mixture also of Taiya and Mutsumi. So nice touch there on a colour page. But yeah, starts off immediately from the ending of the last chapter where we have Hifumi saying to Koichiro, like, Uncle, you made Alpha cry, so I hate you. And of course, at that point, Koichiro dies out because it's like, oh my god, someone in this family hates me again. I'm dead. But not only that, it's like doing the double tap on the enemy of just like, okay, make sure this guy is actually dead. So Hirofumi's like, I hate your face, I hate your voice, I hate your name, and Mutsumi has to step in at this point and be like, okay, Hirofumi, okay, go easy on him. you're killing him, even though he was dead after you said, I hate you. But you must understand, yes, even though Uncle Creature does tend to go overboard, Hifumi, he's worked hard to protect you ever since both of you were born. So yeah, like I suspected, Creature has been watching over them all the time, and pretty much evident from the marriage certificate in the last chapter. And it's weird how Creature was like, I want you to have a family, Mutsumi. I want you to have kids because I'm going to be designing products such as weapons and clothing for when they get old enough to be members of the Yozakura family. And yet at the same time, it's like, okay, now that we have the kids, we can get rid of that. We can get rid of the husband. It's like, again, like I said, Kuricho, you really need to get out of that tendency with time, because if you decide to kill him, even though we know you won't, but if it does decide to happen, you will be kicked out of the family permanently. Because that's the #1 ironclad rule. You do not kill in family. Why do you think Momo was kicked out all those years ago? But yeah, she continues on. But yeah, after hearing this, Hifumi and Alpha are completely shocked by it. Wait, what? Even though he's never met us, and Mutsumi covers like, yeah, the yo-yo, the Alpha Watch, were all designed by your uncle. You were both amazing babies who could walk and talk at just 1 month old. Okay, seriously, what is in the blood of this family? Like, to make them talk at what? Like, actually, somebody comment like how old on average is a kid before they actually talk? Because I believe because 1 month, that seems a bit too quick and far-fetched. Although given that they're superpower family, it's not so surprising. But seriously, someone look into that. So yeah, they carry on and say he thought up weapons that best match your unique talents and personality. He sewed both your outfits to the fully bulletproof and knife proof. So pretty good sleek armor designing skills. And I wonder, is that the case for all of them? Like, is Koichi's suit knife proof and bulletproof as well? So that makes the question of like, if there really was a death battle between Koichi and Illumi from Hunter x Hunter, like, would Illumi even stand a chance at this point? Who knows? After hearing all this information, Hifumi and Alpha are still just trying to wrap their heads around it before Mutsumi says, okay, and this was also why he was the one who said we should keep our siblings secret, and he did it for you. And they're asking the question like, what do you mean by that? And this is where Creature finally gets back over and is like, I can tell, I can answer all your questions now. And calm down. Not gonna kill your father. Not today, anyway. But at the same time, now that you're here, you need to know everything now. So the timing is right. Our family has always been tied by tight bonds of love. If you felt the same deep beauty love for family that I do, it was entirely possible you'd run and meet them. And yeah, this is exactly what Hifumi was actually planning to do. She was planning to be like, oh, okay, so there's other members of the family that I don't know about. I'm gonna go and meet them. And this is even brought up in the very next panel when she's like, go running after them. I'm not that big of a dumb. And Alpha's just like white face is just like, says who, as he's flashing back to when she really was actually going to do that with the mobile phone or the cell phone, whichever country you're in. So yeah, Hifumi, you're not fooling anyone. Like, pretty much as soon as you found out what about this one post, you were out there trying to find out these members as well. But yeah, Koichi says, okay, it is now time. Asa has made his move, and Mission Yozakura family has begun in earnest. Even though it's been begun in earnest since like three years ago. So yeah, does this seriously mean we're gonna get like 3 more years of Mission Yozakura family to match how long the first part was? Does that mean we're going to get 6 years? Because, hey, I'd be perfectly fine with another 3 years of Mission Yozakura family. I don't know about any of you guys, but going on for 3 more years, that would be perfectly fine with me. But also as well, this panel here, me and Party Chance were talking about it a few hours ago, of just like, okay, this might be them building up the fact that there may be another enemy out there, or it may just be building up to like, okay, we could, okay, if I decide to end the series with Asa, like, this is probably going through the office, but if I decide to end the series with Asa, that's perfectly fine, but at the same time, might as well just give little hints of the fact that there could potentially be other enemies out there, and that sort of thing, like whether it's going to be being reincarnated, or whether it's going to reveal that Kai is like a branch member of the Yozakura family, because just the way Kai is just so similar to Tayo, it's like, that can't be a coincidence, right? But anyway, those are theories for later, or maybe Asa has underlings, like, you never know. It could potentially happen, but there's something else later on in the chapter that really struck a chord with some of the fan base today, and just being like, okay, this is quite interesting, and whether or not some of the things that we've been told about the series are actually not entirely true, and we'll get to it when we'll get to it. But for now, Hiyofumi and Alpha are just like, Asa, what mission? Like, these are things we've never heard about before, so Uncle Creature, could you explain it to us? And he's like, yeah, yeah, I probably knew that this day was going to come, and to answer your very simple questions, here is the entire manga series up to this point for you, so you can read it yourself. Drawn by me, of course, because I am Koricho and I am just an egotistical bastard. So yeah, here is the easy guide to Mission Yozakura Family, so let's begin. And of course, Musubi's the one to point out, like, wait a second, Tao's important here, and you've removed him. And Koricho's like, oh, so that's the first thing you notice. You notice that way too quickly, Musubi. But yeah, he goes on, he basically, Koricho just basically gives like a brief bullet point of the things, and just be like, okay, this is Asa. He's a very, very bad man. Are you following this? Okay, you got Asa, bad man, killed your grandparents. So it's not a very nice way that they went. Grandpa Momo's torso was left, and Grandma Reen's heart is just left now. Although, given what we saw last of Momo, makes me wonder, is he going to be reprogrammed? Is he going to become more machine than man, thanks to Asa, because of all those tubes he had and everything? That's something that might actually come into play, like, if something like that does actually happen. But yeah, he continues on. They continue on as Mutsumi says, "Do you have to include the gruesome description in such cute picture cards?" Like, okay, your grandfather's dead, and here's a cute picture of him. So it's like, yeah, Koricho, you didn't really have to include that. So he continues on and says, Asa wants to make everybody in the Yozakura family his belongings. Keep that in mind. Everybody in the Yozakura family, keep that little comment in mind from Koricho, because it's going to lead to what I said about Kai later on. As he goes on and says, "I'll let you." As he goes on and reiterates what Asa said, "I'll let you grow up for 5 years and then come get you," he said, and then he disappeared. But the Yozakura family doesn't want to be his belongings, so everyone's been training up. We've been getting ready for this moment, and now if Asa comes back, we can beat him up. And that is Mission Yozakura Family. And I just love the cute little image of just Koricho just one punching Asa. It just has just like, world's coolest Uncle Koricho. Just being like, yeah, I was the coolest, I'm the one that's going to do it. Like, no, you may be involved in the battle, but Tao's going to get the finishing blow, Koricho. Koricho starts to wrap up the story by saying, now it's been 5 years, both Asa and the Yozakura family are making their moves, but don't worry, our plan is just getting started, the end. And then he goes on to, right, now that we've got all that settled, let's move on to chapter 2, Tayo, the unwanted dies, the end. I just love that, because that reminds me of like when somebody's just like, oh, let me tell you a good bedtime story. Once upon a time, the end. That was a very good story. Like, so nice little jab there about people who just like want to rush through a story, and Koricho doesn't want to give Tayo any praise. So it's like, yeah, Tayo disappeared, the end. Okay, right, end of story. Do you have any questions? And Alpha, I love the contrasting motion here of just like Alpha really getting into the story, like, oh, okay, I get it. Everyone's finished their training and returning home so that we can get ready to fight this ass person. Hiyofumi is just falling asleep. She's just like, oh, did we really have to listen to all? and Karicho is just like, I knew you'd get it, Alpha. And Hirofumi looks darling when she's asleep, as Hirofumi's just like, oh, what, no, I'm not asleep, I'm awake, I listened to everything right there. Alpha brings up a very interesting point here for us, like, then was it Asa who published that wanted poster? And Creature goes, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. It seems too roundabout for a man who strolled straight into our mansion like he was invited, and also inefficient. Perhaps there's a different purpose to it, or perhaps he's changed his entire plan in the last 5 years. See, this is what I was getting at here with the whole Asa wants all members of the Yozakura family under his control. Like, again, they're just focusing solely on the 9th generation, and it just begs the question, like, until we got to was it only, like, the heads of the Yozakuras? Because that just doesn't make any sense. Because Asa was a character who was just, like, it was just flabbergasted by Tsubumi's blood, so it stands entirely to reason that he would be like, okay, if Tsubumi's blood can be distributed out, and maybe if I can get other kids, like offspring of Tsubumi, to like distribute that blood, like there has to be like uncles, granduncles, great granduncles, like there has to be all of them, like all the different branches of the Yozakura family, cousins of the Yozakura family. Like, again, it just begs the question, like, where are the branch families? Where are the branches of the Yozakura family tree, for lack of a better word? Like, they have to be there, and I get the feeling that they're all already under Asa's control, so we might be getting, like, the cousins, the aunts, the uncles of Mutsumi, Koricho, and all of them. And, like, that's just something that I have wanted for ages, and this is the perfect opportunity to get it. Like, Asa, possibly the Zodiacs as well, also have the branch families of the Yozakura family. Like, that has to come. Like, that has to really come, and it will also lead to more abilities, more bloomings, and just more fights that are gonna come up. So yeah, please let that be true. Please let that theory of, like, the branches of the Yozakura family being under Asa's control, because that would make the most logical sense of why, if Asa was just wanted to send out that white poster, probably as a test for the branch families. You never know. But yeah, he goes on and says, that said, he will come for us. Our plans don't change. We're prepared for battle against him whenever that battle comes. And the TO Academy is the perfect place to host it. So yeah, the final battleground is going to be taking place here, I guess. I guess that does make sense. I mean, they can't really go back to the mansion now, because if they go back to the mansion, Asa's just going to stroll up and say, hi everyone, I'm here, you're going to come with me, goodbye. And this and what I feel like Asa's motivation is like, he wants to get all the members of the Yozakura, so he has an army of perfect super soldiers ready to conquer the world, but also rebuild it and reshape it and heal it in his own image. That's my idea of what Asa's true motivation for all of this is. Creature goes on and says, like, it's the alma mater of the Yozakura generation. We know it all too well. It was tightly secured. It has tight security, and then the mansion, internal and manpower are at our fingertips. But most importantly, it's a place you two can grow, and possibly other siblings that are probably going to come in the years to come, once we've taken care of Asa, of course. But yeah, I still believe, like I said before, that Asa. I'm going with Party John's theory that Asa may not be the final antagonist. I mean, he might be, could potentially be, but if they wanted to introduce a branch family of the Yozakuras and be like, okay, these are the guys that you really need to be worried about, like, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But at the same time, I'd be perfectly fine with Asa being the final antagonist. And I don't feel like we're gonna get to Asa anytime soon. Like, at this point, anytime soon. I'm gonna say, give it until, like, say, chapter 210 when we finally get to Asa. But yeah, he goes on and continues to say, you're 4 years old, an age of maturity, age of majority for Yozakura. Now it's about when you both could be sent on your first mission. As we see, little Chibi, Futaba, and Keigo probably out on their first mission as well. So yeah, really getting into the stride of, like, what this part of the story is going to be. It seems to be, like I said last week, it's probably going to be mostly focused on Alpha and Hiyofumi taking on the main character roles. And Taiyo's obviously going to be a major part of that, but I feel like at this point, given what happens in this chapter, he's probably going to take a step back while his kids take the center stage, which I believe was something that wanted to happen in Dragon Ball, but didn't kind of go through with Goku's kids, where Akira Toriyama wanted Goku's kids to like take up the main character role, but couldn't really go through with it. I feel like this is kind of like the author of Mission Yokura's family attempt to do something similar, but actually go through with it. Like, okay, Taiyo has been the main character to this point, but it's now time for him to take a step back while his kids take the center stage. They carry on and say, here, your family can watch over you and keep you safe while still giving you plenty of freedom to learn and grow. Our other siblings are on their way here. This academy will be our home until the operation is complete. Okay, so yeah, basically referring like, we're not going to be going back to the mansion. Like, pretty much until Asa is defeated, might actually take place in this academy, which, hey, given the size of the academy, it could potentially, it might as well be a whole city in and of itself. After Koichiro says all of this, he's like, okay, now that I've said all of this, do you have any questions? And Alpha's just like, no, you've cleared everything up, thank you, Uncle Koichiro. While you and the other grown-ups fight Asa, Hiyofumi and I will go to school. That's our grand plan. As we get a response from Taiyo who's basically, sorry this all had to seem so sudden, I wish it didn't have to seem so convenient. And Alpha's like, okay, it's okay, Papa. It isn't like we could lead normal lives right away. I'm sure we'll be able to learn a lot while we're here. And everyone being here means it's safe too. I bet Hiyofumi's gonna really like it, as she's like, as he looks over to his sister, who was just like giving the look of just like, Alpha, why you talk? I could talk for myself, so why are you doing this? And Alpha is just like, as soon as he sees his sister, he's just like baffled by what kind of expression is that supposed to be. And Koichiro's just like, it's funny what Koichiro does here. He's like trembling, just like, I didn't upset you, did I? Am I gonna die again? Hiyofumi, I hope I didn't upset you. But Hiyofumi mentions what she wants from this mission is that she wants to be a part of the big plan too, and she actually wants to be in on the action, obviously taking inspiration from her father, her uncle, and her aunt Fruitspa. So getting that really Yozakura front lines mindset of here of just like, I wanna be the one on the front lines. Well, Alpha seems to be the one who takes on Shinzo, Shion, and Keigo being on the back burner, but also being in the more supportive role. So kind of like that, how we have that little dynamic between the two of them. As she goes on and says, I want to protect you. If the bad, I want to protect you, Alpha. If the bad guy doesn't come here for a long time, then you're going to be stuck here forever. I would hate that, so I'd want a fight too. I want to go and beat up the bad guy. As we get Alpha just like arguing his point here of just like, what kind of nonsense are you on about this time? We have no idea when the enemy will strike, and how do you fight that? This isn't something you can just try really hard and make it work on you'll be underfoot. Strong, how we're still children. So like he's going on just being like, no, this is bad. You can't be doing this because how do you know what the bad guy's going to be? How are you going to fight him? We're just still children. We're not trained up to be in this kind of situation. And Hiyofumi counters by saying, I'm sorry, Alpha. I know what I'm saying sounds really weird. I want to protect you. I want to fight for you. As Koichiro at this point is just like, Alpha, just give it up. Sometimes emotions override senses, and especially with family. Like I've been saying, like if this was the situation with if my siblings were threatened in any way by anyone, it's like all common sense would be thrown out the window. I'd be like, I'm gonna go and fight for them. In the same way, like Hiyofumi wants to fight for Alpha, even though she has no idea how she's gonna be as strong as Asa to get up to the point to be able to fight him. So yeah, all logical senses is being thrown out the window here because it's her brother it's Hiyofumi's brother that's the one being under threat here, and she wants to do everything in her power to protect him. And Koichiro understands this, and he, as he says, I'll warn you as someone who's much the same way. She won't change her mind no matter what. Like basically referring to her as like, yeah, I'm much like Hiyofumi when it comes to Mutsumi. So no matter what you say to her, nothing will change her mind. Once she's made up her mind about wanting to protect you, you might as well just give up at that point, Alpha. And Hifumi, not Hifumi, Mutsumi is just like, oh, yeah, it's true, can't really argue with that. To a certain someone, I learned that lesson very thoroughly. Looks like there's nothing much we can do, Tayo. And Tayo agrees on this. Like, even though they don't want Hifumi to fight, like Koichiro says, like, once she's made up her mind, that's it. There's no point in arguing with her. Nothing will change her mind. So might as well just let her fight, let her train up and everything. As that Tayo goes on to explain to his kids that he was raised as a normal human, and he didn't like the idea of and he doesn't like the idea of letting 2 4-year-olds fight. And he also married into the Yozakura, and they both have family talents in spades, and he wishes he could lock them away where it's safe. So basically wants to sugarcoat his kids, wrap them in a protective bubble and be like, oh kids, it's alright, but he knows that that's absolutely wrong to do. He needs to let his kids out there and flourish their talents, because at this point they are getting up to that level where he probably was at the beginning of the series, which is absolutely scary to consider that only 4 years old at this point. So he carries on and says, besides, this is Mission Yozakura. As the F generation, you have a right to choose. And that is actually true. They're part of this family, so they have a right to have a choice about what they actually do. And if the other Yozakura series were against it, then they'd be massive hypocrites, because as we saw in the panel earlier, we have a Chibi, Futaba and Keigo who were probably out on their first mission. So if they were like, no, we're against you two fighting because you're 4 years old, then the series will call them out for being massive hypocrites, because like it says here, they are part of the Yozakura family, so they have a say in the matter. And Tayo goes on as he whips out this small notepad from his jacket, although it's not a notepad, it's obviously a card, as it's going to be revealed, as he says, so I want both of you to go and ask the others if they're okay with you joining the mission. Ask everyone in the family. So basically getting the permission of everyone in the family, like, hey, are we talented enough to join the fight? As it's revealed that it's the Yozakura family stamp card. So basically, as Tayo, Mutsumi, and all seven of the other siblings. Wait a minute, Futaba, Koichiro, Keigo, Shinzo, Shio. No. Who's the 7th? Wait. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of a typo on here, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So really, should that be 6? Because Mutsumi is the 7th one. No, Nano is the 7th Yozakura. Like, how did they miss this? How did they miss this number? Like, 5, 7? How does that work? Like, seriously, go back, page 14, look at it. It says 5 and 7, like, on the stamp card. Seriously, how did they miss that? Confusing numbers aside, we have them getting the stamp card as Tayo, as Koichiro starts to explain, if you want in on a mission, you need the team's approval. That's standard spy procedure. I've already contacted the others. If they approve of your skills, they'll put a stamp on your card. So basically, this might actually be Hifumi and Alpha getting their bronze licensing exam and be like, okay, yeah, you are perfectly qualified right now to be part of the Yozakura family operation right here. So we can start training you up. As he goes on and says, once you've collected the stamps from everyone, you'll be permitted to join the operation. And Alpha starts to question, like, oh, how do we get them to give us the stamps? And Koichiro explains, oh, that's up to them. You'll probably expect some sort of test on both your weapons and your skills. So yeah, this is pretty much their bronze license exam. Like, but it's being disguised of just being like, okay, yeah, if you want to be part of this mission, you're going to have to get the stamps. So, again, moving into kind of a new arc here where the Yozakura siblings are going to come in, but one by one, and be like, okay, for your first test to get my stamp, you have to do this. And I cannot wait for all these tests to figure out, like, okay, what are they going to have to do to earn the stamps of everyone? And I feel like Koichiro is going to be the last one, and he's going to be the hardest. Just like he was the hardest one when it came to Tayo getting his silver license exam, silver spy license. As Alpha goes on, and it's just like, okay, so if we pass all of our own course and arts tests and collect all the stamps, And Hiyofumi, at this, whilst Alpha is just like in really thoughtful mode, Hiyofumi's just like really delighted, like, we can finally join the mission after that, can't we? Can't we? Mama and Papa gave me your stamps, and they're just like, no, not yet. We both really don't want you to fight, but it's also not alright to make that decision for you. Giving you these cards is the best way. It's the best we can do right now. Come and ask us once again when you've been able to get everyone else's stamps. So it's basically like in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, when your father's the gym leader, and it's just like, oh, you can't challenge my gym yet because you don't have 4 badges, but when you got 4 badges, come back and challenge me then and then. So kind of like the same thing here of just being like, yeah, once you've gotten all the stamps from everyone, come and see us and we'll be able to stamp it. And it's going to be harder to get it with Koricho, but something's coming up here that may actually be Koricho's test, getting a hint here of Koricho's test, and maybe something that not a lot of people pick up on. But yeah, Tayo goes on and says, while you do that, Mom and I will come to grips with our feelings so that we can give you the support that you need. And as Hiyofumi is just getting really excited about all this, she realises that Alpha never said he wanted to join the mission, and Alpha again gives him the white blank face here of just like, oh wow, you finally noticed it, you were bragging ahead so quick without thinking how I felt, that I started to feel left behind. And she's just like, oh, I'm sorry Alpha, I got all excited without thinking about it. But Alpha's just like, you know what, fine, I guess I don't mind. I'll go along with you for the stamps at least, but this doesn't mean that I'm actually going to be committed to join the mission. But if it's to help you heal through me whilst you're helping me, then I guess I don't mind helping you collect all the stamps. It's not like you can do anything without me after all. And besides, I know you're doing this for my sake. Before he can even continue, Hiyofumi cuts him off by saying, Alpha, I love you, and he's just like, no kisses, gross. And then you have Koricho be like, oh, can I join in with you guys? And then you have Mutsumi just grabbing behind, like, no, Koricho, don't be doing that. But this is the part coming up here where I feel like this is hinting at what Koricho's test will be, as we have Tayo and Mutsumi leaving to go back to the mansion to collect everyone, and move everything into the house. Move everything from the house into the academy. So they'll be away for a while. So like I said, Tayo and Mutsumi being pushed to the side while Hiyofumi and Alpha start to take the center stage, because they're like, okay, you stay here with your uncle, he'll look after you, the aunts and uncles are all coming now, so they'll look after you while we're away, and we'll be back with I and the others before long. And I really want to see Ai's post-time skip decided. She's going to have long flowing chimera hair. Is Kai going to be coming? Is Ayaka going to be coming? Is every major character from the first half of the series going to be coming into this academy ready to fight Asa? That is something that I really hope happens. But yeah, like I was alluding to, this might actually be part of Asa's plan, is being like, okay, so if we can capture Tayo, Mutsumi, and so many of their allies, then all the other siblings, once the kids have been trained up, will want to come and find us. And Koricho will be like, okay, this is my final test. If you can rescue your mama, your papa, and everyone else in this mansion and get out of here without getting captured by Asa, then I will give you the stamp. That will probably be Koricho's test there, which would be a great way for them to for Alpha and Hiyofumi to just experience what Asa is capable of. That's just my theory on the whole situation. It might not go down that route, or Tayo and Mutsumi might be captured by somebody else and Koricho might still use that as the test for them. That remains to be seen. For now, Tayo and Mutsumi out of the picture. After Tayo and Mutsumi leave, Koricho says like, oh, your rooms are in here, and I'm sure you must miss your mama, so I'll sing you a lullaby. And Alpha's just like, Uncle, didn't Mama just say you aren't allowed to sleep in our rooms? And Koricho's like, damn, your ears are sharp, but I'm impressed. And they're just like, oh, good night, Uncle Koricho, good night, Uncle. If you come after Alpha while he's asleep, I'll never forgive if you do that. Oh, duly noted, Hiyofumi, I've planted it in my soul. Good night to both of you. And I can imagine he's just got a mode on like now, yeah. Never piss off Hifumi again. But yeah, as he's watching his niece and nephew walk to their rooms, he has a little bit of an internal monologue, which is quite interesting. And I alluded to this at the beginning of the review when he said, no twins have been born to the Yozakura family before. They both have the cobalt black hair that indicates potentially that to be family head. But they also have special abilities like normal similes. That's never happened before. Everything about them, it's out of the ordinary. I can't say what their future holds. Whatever it is, while I still live and breathe, I swear I'll make it a happy one. Bloom young, Yozakura blossoms. Bloom right and strong enough to wither the coming storm. So it's quite interesting here how Koichiro makes that observation. Now, this has led to me an insane theory right here. What if the heads of the family can get a blooming? I know that kind of goes against the establishment of the series, but hear me out here. Asa is so secretive. He's the creator of the Yozakura family. He could have potentially lied about that. That could have been a lie passed down through the generations, and the heads are able to get a blooming, and they're the strongest bloomings out of all of them. So it is potential that Alpha and Hifumi, and also as well, like, it could potentially be that, because he mentions that both of them have the potential to be the head, so maybe the whole head of the Yozakura doesn't just necessarily have to be a female. Maybe it could be a male. That's something that's kind of interesting here. Like everything they've known about the Yozakura family bloodline and how it works could be a lie set up by Asa at this point. You just never know with this series. You never know what's going to come around the corner yet. Speaking of coming around the corner, well, we saw in the last chapter, but yeah, they go back to their rooms and they finally find that Futaba is there, and we finally get to see her post-time skip design info. And like I said last chapter, love the winter theme she's going on here, and her hair seems to be a lot more longer here, and I love like the little snowball style baubles that she has in her hair right now. It's just like, welcome back. I guess I should say, nice to meet you first. I bought outfits and snacks for you as souvenirs. How about you come over and look? As Alpha and Hifumi are just like, this is the person from the poster. Why is there a little girl here? And rather than being mad at them for calling her a little girl, Futaba is just like, been a while since I've been called that, or gotten that reaction. That's where the chapter ends. So, oh boy, lots to unpack with this one. Now that ending of the chapter indicates that Futaba's going to be the first one to be testing them. Maybe after she's like I wouldn't be surprised if the entire next chapter is just getting them introduced to Futaba, find out what she's all about, probably getting some funny reactions, just be like, you don't like Uncle Creature, are you? You're not going to be creeping up on us, and she'd probably be like, why would it be like that creepy douchebag or something like that? That's probably gonna happen. But also she's gonna be like, yes, I'm your aunt, but I'm also the second oldest, so I'm a few years younger than your Uncle Creature. So I'll let it go off this time, but at the same time, don't you ever call me a little girl ever again. That's probably what she's going to say as well, before we actually do get into the chapter after, which will probably start their test with Futaba, and maybe it'll be like more physical based because she's more in tune with martial arts than anything else. That's probably what's going to happen in the chapter. But yeah, so much to unpack here. Like, we've got potential setup for villains after Asa, or maybe it might just stick with Asa itself. Maybe the Zodiacs. Like, the Zodiac group might actually come after Asa, and he's actually working under the Zodiacs. Like, the Zodiacs might be the big final group that the Yozakuras have to take down in order to truly find peace. Like, we still have that theory. I also have the branches of the Yozakura families. We also have the potential idea that Hifumi and Alpha might actually have the potential to be heads whilst also having bloomings as well. That's all just so much to unpack in this chapter. Like, oh my god. I feel at some point, like, me and a few others in Control Chaos need to sit down and talk about the state of Mission Yozakura family, where it is right now, like how it's developed over the past, like, say, year or since the time skip. Like, we really need to sit down and talk about that at some point, and I'd be perfectly up for that. Like, what is going on in Yozakura family right now? Like, that's just so much to unpack. Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.